Hearing from a lot of you questioning why some districts are changing their COVID-19 quarantine policies to allow students who test positive to return to class after isolating for just 5 days.
And this includes Cherokee, Fulton, and Cobb schools. The change coming just days after the CDC revised its own guidance, advising people can end their COVID isolation after 5 days instead of 10 if they no longer have symptoms or their symptoms are resolving. The CDC pointing to the science, saying the data shows transmission occurs early in the course of infection. But parents say the change makes them uneasy. So Caitlin Ross took your questions to Dr. Jane Morgan, who heads Piedmont's COVID task force.
The new CDC guidance has really confused a lot of people, especially parents sending their kids back to school. So Dr. Morgan, how do you read their new advice?
And why they will not commit to a specific regimen. You test at 5 days. If you're positive, you follow X. If you're negative, you follow Y. And why there's this waffling, I'm not certain if it's related to the availability of tests.
The one caveat, even once isolation ends, the CDC still advises you to wear a mask through day 10.
You are being asked to quarantine for 5 days. After that time, you can leave isolation, but must wear a mask at all times. And they use the word strict mask wearing for the unvaccinated.
But today, the CDC added an additional line to its revised guidance.
What's new is they've added sort of a suggestion of testing. If you want to, you can test after you have isolated for 5 days. And if that test is positive, you are asked to continue to isolate for another 5 days. If it is negative, then you can exit isolation.
And that's not just for students, that's for anyone who tests positive.
This covers all American citizens, whether you're a child or an adolescent or an adult or elderly. If you test positive, these are the CDC requirements. So that includes people who work for school systems, people who work for fire stations, people who work for airlines, wherever you work. These are the guidelines that are being followed.